Shlomo and hello from Denmark this time around. I've been traveling the last few weeks, or days I should say, and I'm now in Denmark. So I just wanted to spend the time to give a little talk about the next topic on our list, which is the topic of iconography. And again, we'll do this to contrast the Protestant and the Syriac Orthodox perspective on the topic of icons. So icons, as you may know, are depictions of either Jesus or the Virgin Mary or the saints of the Church, which are very visible in a number of Orthodox settings. So in the Protestant world, however, and let's start there, iconography is not typically seen. They are decorating churches, most certainly with maybe tapestries or wall murals. So you will find that in Protestant churches. A lot of times the front wall, especially in Baptist settings where the baptistry is, may have a beautiful landscape depiction. But typically you do not find any kind of iconography. So if we, and that is, going back to what I would refer to as an anti-Catholic stance, where this was seen as idolatry, I suppose, that, people pray to the saints or pray to the Virgin Mary. And again, that's not how it's understood in Orthodoxy. So if we move to Orthodoxy, you will find that many of our churches have beautiful iconography across the Orthodox world. Especially our Coptic brethren, they have beautifully decorated churches with a lot of iconography. In Syriac Orthodoxy, what I noticed when I first pursued the Syriac Orthodox faith is that there aren't as many icons visible typically. But as the churches are now beginning to be more established, especially here in Europe, we do start seeing a lot more iconography coming up. And so, for example, the church that I first entered in May 2022 in my hometown of Polheim in Germany, the church, the Syriac Orthodox Church there, has beautiful stained glass windows that depict scenes of saints of the church. They have a beautiful mural above the altar of the Transfiguration of Christ, for example. There are other elements across the church, but it's not there's no iconostasis as you might find in an Eastern Orthodox setting, for example. There is typically in Syriac Orthodox churches a curtain that separates the altar room from the rest of the church, but the iconostasis per se is not visible, at least in the churches that I have visited. However, iconography is still present, of course, in the Syriac Orthodox Church. And the reason why iconography seems to be missing a lot more from Syriac Orthodox churches is plain and simple because of the persecution that they suffered. In particular, during the Sepho in the year 1915, Sepho is a word that stands for sword. A lot of the churches were destroyed, so were the icons that were there. And what we have today in the Department of Syriac Studies in Syria, we have a collection of icons and also illuminations from manuscripts that are still available to us that are quite beautiful, and they're publicly accessible. So Department of Syriac Studies, if you Google that, you can actually find that collection. So the iconography there is a very different style than the Eastern Orthodox styles. It's very unique and also separate from the Coptic tradition, for example. And these icons simply depict saints or, like I said, the Virgin Mary or Jesus. And what they do for us is just to remind us how these people lived holy lives. So the saints that we venerate in the Syriac Orthodox world, they all, without exception, led extremely holy lives that can be models for us. So we don't worship these icons, we don't see them as objects of worship, but rather as a place where we can venerate and think about these saints and ask them to pray for us to the Lord. And also just to remind ourselves of what it means to live a holy life and how that might look in our own personal lives. So again, I just wanted to very briefly address the topic of iconography in the Syriac Orthodox Church. I apologize for the shaking today, but I am literally holding my camera with my hand because my aunt is in the process of moving. I'm helping her move. And of course, my stick is somewhere where I'm currently not. But I thought I would get this done so you don't go without content the entire week I'm here. It will be slow. I have a very poor internet connectivity, but I greet you. And I thank you once again for just watching. And please leave comments, please leave feedback, please clarify or ask for clarification if I wasn't clear. Again, these videos are just intended to be introductory, so stick with it. And thanks for watching. May the Lord bless you and keep you, and I'll see you around next time. Thanks and greetings from Denmark.